There is one word that separates a tourist from a local in New York, and it has nothing to do with your accent. It is about knowing when to stop saying the full name of the place you live in. There is a specific moment when you stop saying New York City and just start saying the city. It happens without you noticing. One day you're a person who moved here, and then at some point you're just someone who lives here, and the full name starts to feel like too much. Most people outside New York think the city means Manhattan, the skyline, Times Square, the grid of streets you've seen in every movie. And yes, that's part of it. But a woman who has spent her whole life in Astoria, Queens also says the city. A guy who grew up in Flatbush, Brooklyn says the city. Someone who takes the 6 train every morning from the Bronx says the city. They're not talking about the same streets. They're talking about the same feeling. That feeling is harder to explain than the geography. A teacher in the Bronx and a banker in Midtown and a cook in Jackson Heights are technically in the same place. But their mornings don't look alike, their commutes don't cost the same, and the things the city asks from them are completely different. The banker calls it opportunity, the cook calls it survival, the teacher calls it Tuesday. And yet if you ask all 3 of them why they stay, the answers will sound more similar than you'd expect. New Yorkers are not unfriendly. People say that a lot about the city and it's not quite right. If you fall on the subway, someone will help you up. They just won't ask how your day was afterward. Everyone has somewhere to be. That's not coldness. That's just how the place works. The city also does something to time. 6 months here can feel like 2 years somewhere else. You make decisions faster. You figure out what you want and what you can't afford, sometimes in the same week. People who move here at 22 and leave at 25 say they lived there for 3 years. But it rarely feels like 3 years. It feels like more. Most cities have a version of themselves that exists for visitors and a version that exists for the people who actually live there. New York has that too, but the gap between those 2 versions is wider than most places. The version tourists see is real. The version locals live in is also real. They just don't overlap very much. The locals version is a diner you've been going to for 7 years where they know your order. It's a subway delay on a Thursday morning that ruins your whole schedule. It's finding a good apartment and deciding to never leave it because finding another one would be too painful. It's small, specific, and not particularly cinematic. But it's why people stay. And it's why, when they leave, they spend years comparing every other city to it. Not to the skyline, not to the energy, just to that version of it that was theirs.